I want to introduce Francesca Zambello. I don't think she needs any introduction. I really look forward to working with her. She is a tour de force, a wonderful speaker. I think you could do 10 minutes on asparagus. I mean, you're amazing. You really are. She has the energy of a power plant. I've never seen anything like it. And her talk yesterday was the leitmotif was the power of the piano. To me, it's the power of Francesca. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here this morning with this organization. I'm very, very excited to work with all of you. I'm extremely, one of my new favorite people is Madame Bloom, and I don't think that she really gets enough credit for everything that she does. She seems to me to be this incredible woman. Before I started, her reputation preceded her. It was quite something. I'll tell you that another time. It was all good. Since I have spoken to a number of you yesterday and in other locations, I won't talk too much about next season, but certain things that I think are important about it that I just really want to focus on today. That being, thank you, Michael, for starting us out talking about the young artists, and a bit about various projects that they'll be doing next year and things that I think are important that we all take special note of. One thing about a career, and I think this goes for anything in the arts, is we often think there are 5 stages in a career. And what's great is most people who are in the Young Artist program here are in what I call stage 1. Stage 1 is, I'm going to use as an example, a young man named Mark Diamond, who will sing the role of Tom this afternoon. He's a very hunky, young, lyric baritone. Okay, so stage 1 is, who is Mark Diamond? Okay, that's it. Who's Mark Diamond? Stage 2 of a career. Oh God, Nathan Gunn, he's not available. He's too expensive. Who's that young guy? Get me Mark Diamond. Okay. Stage 3 of a career. Get me Mark Diamond. Stage 4. Mark Diamond, wait a minute. Let's find us a young Mark Diamond. Stage 5. Who is Mark Diamond? So most of us, we hope that we can stay in stage 3 in this business. But what's really important about this is that we are really in the stage 1 of a lot of these people's careers. And what's the most important thing about this kind of program is performance. I will tell you myself, of course, as a director, I worked as an assistant to many, many great directors, but you actually learn the most when you do it. Everything in the arts is, in a sense, that's why we've always had the great guilds and sense of craftspersonship, is when you have learned from masters, but then you do it yourself. And that is really, really how it happens. I mean, is by actually doing it yourself. So what is amazing, I think, for these people coming here is that we have in a sense, something that's very different than any of the other organizations like ourselves who produce opera and theater across America, is that they do get a lot of different kinds of performing opportunities. Next year, just to focus on some of them, they will be, as Michael said, one of the pieces we're doing next year, later the same evening, the new opera by John Musto and Mark Campbell, the librettist, will be featuring all young artists except for 2 adult roles. They will also be in many other operas and in the musical next season, but that will, in a sense, really be their piece that they will be doing, which I'm very, very excited about. We also will be introducing 2 new features next year for them. One is we will be doing a concert with orchestra with just them. That will be in the middle of the season. That will be in July. It will be an orchestra concert with all the young artists, conducted by our music director, David Angus. So it is, I will tell you, for young singers, singing with orchestra as opposed to piano is like one of those huge incremental learning curves, because it is completely different singing with an orchestra than with a piano. So we will be doing that. That will also be specially priced. And then at the end of the season, we will be doing an All-American Works concert, which I hope to introduce a number of composers as well as a lot of American pops material that will feature all of them. So it will be another opportunity to sing with the orchestra in that kind of situation. The young artists will also be doing, of course, our recital series is going to continue, but slightly in a different fashion. More in what I'd like to think of group recitals. We will be teaming them up through Michael's aegis, I think, in groups of 4 and 5, where they will be doing chunks of operas, duets, arias, of course, trios, quartets, and so that we will make some programs that will probably have thematic ideas around them, not unlike some of the recitals that you saw with Stephen Blyer in the past, but things that we make that are uniquely our own, that are our programs that we offer, that we're going to offer repeated times during the summer. As I'm sure you noticed, and I know everyone in this room got, as Joan calls it, the device, right? Everybody got this, right? If you didn't look at it, you must study it. Okay, all right? And you will notice that before almost every performance or after many performances, there are concerts, cabarets, performances that we'll be offering in the Thaw, which will feature a lot of the young artists. As well with them, I need my glasses and they just dropped. Thank you so much. As well with them, I made a little list that I want to make sure I don't leave out anything. We will be doing something which is unique to us. No other company is doing this. Next year, we are giving a performance of Carmen, where all of the young artists will do all of the roles. This will be a special matinee performance. I hope to bring in new people to the community, more families, more children, so that the kids who are, let's say, understudying Carmen, Don Jose, Micaela, Escamillo, will be doing the leading roles. And this will be a really fun performance. I think it'll be something that is, for us, going to be a great way to discover more than just the young stars who are singing, but new people who are coming. And it will also be a great enticement. When Michael said we get 750, 800 applicants a year, I have a feeling once the buzz gets out, we're going to be getting more, because for them to have this kind of opportunity, as well as these group performances, as well as concerts, is a real way to showcase them. And what do they all want to do? They all want to get to that step 2, which means they need an agent, they need people to see their work, they need other companies to see them. The other very important thing that we're going to be adding for them next year, which I've talked about, is we're going to be introducing an artist in residence. As you all know, it's going to be Debbie Voigt next year. I just want to rewind to Debbie Voigt when I first met her. We were both working in San Francisco Opera. She was in what's called the Adler program, which is the training program there. I think she made her professional debut singing in the Millbrook Mall there, which is what happens in these big programs, is that the kids perform in shopping malls, in Macy's downtown. I remember one of the first things I directed was with Ruth Ann Swenson and Dolores Zajic. It was a scene from Mignon, and we did it in Macy's downtown at Union Square in San Francisco. So yeah, I'm serious. So this is really how you learn. So I first knew Debbie when she was, performing the maid roles, as we, those are the Inas and the. So she's coming here very much with a desire we've talked about a lot in the last few years. She and I have done a number of things together, a number of the Wagner roles, Salome, Cassandra and the Trojans, and something that's been really on her mind the last few years is working with young singers. And so she wants to come here to really spend time, 9 weeks with everybody here, and really be mentoring these young artists. And I think that it's so different for them to learn on site from somebody who's been in the trenches around the world, which of course they get that opportunity with many of the people performing here, but with someone of that stature and that caliber who can really help them. And of course she will be doing master classes and working with them, but I think it's going to be a special and unique feature that every year we're going to have an artist in residence of that caliber who's going to not only work with them, but also stretch themselves. And in stretching themselves, in this case, Debbie, as you've all read in your device, which is good, is going to be singing the title role of Annie in Annie Get Your Gun. Now, just a little bit more I want to talk about Annie Get Your Gun this morning. And I think I brought along a little visual aid, which I wish everybody could see, but anyway, this is an antique guide, it's from 1928. It is the guide to the Cherry Valley Turnpike, which is Route 20. Okay, it's published in 1928, and it's a fantastic book. I found it at an antique bookstore here. I'm going to try and convince people to republish it and update it. I actually met with somebody from Alliance for the Arts yesterday who's just published a book on the Hudson Valley track, basically all the way north, and he's interested in publishing a book about Route 20. Now, Route 20 is full of Indian sites, Native American sites. And I was thinking when I was looking for the right musical, Debbie, we talked about a number of things, including, just so you have a little background, we talked about doing Music Man, and I thought, oh, I can get all the kids' bands from town and do that. And then I thought, and then we talked about Annie, Get Your Gun, and I thought, well, there's such a tradition of Native American or Indian high art here in the sense of what Jean Thaw has generously donated to the Fenimore Museum. But there's also this fascination that we have, all of us, with something of the mythic Indian world. What, of course, James Fenimore Cooper wrote about. What, when you drive down Route 20 and you see all these towns and all these things that are from another time, particularly the 20s and 30s, ranging from Howe Caverns to there's the Oneida Trail. And of course, Route 20 was originally an Indian track. So I thought this all combines together with Annie, Get Your Gun. It gives us a sort of look at our own history as well as providing something that is a great American classic, of course, by Irving Berlin and Dorothy Fields, whose grandson lives here in Cooperstown, by the way. Yes, I know. So we'll have, and as is the piano that Irving Berlin composed upon is here. So maybe we'll work out tours to the piano, I'm not sure. In any case, I think that it's going to be our great introduction to, I know that the company had a great success with Kiss Me Kate, and I want us to be producing a classic American musical every year in the way that the composer wrote it, come escrito, the same way that you saw Handel's Ptolomeo last night as he wrote it, you will see Irving Berlin's Annie, Get Your Gun the way that he wrote it, with a large orchestra. Somebody's shaking their head no at me. Okay, all right, so we didn't have a totally Baroque orchestra, I get it, okay, I get it. Okay, that's what, no. Okay, no, there's no swordfish in there's no swordfish, okay, that's another discussion. All right, okay, but we will definitely have full orchestra, which of course you never get to see on Broadway now except at Lincoln Center for South Pacific, and a large ensemble and a full cast, of which many will be in the Young Artist Program. So those are sort of the two things that I wanted to bring to everyone's attention, and just be thinking about that Route 20 and what it means and this incredible destination. And I look forward to working with all of you more this year and collaborating, and I'm completely open to hearing your thoughts on everything. And I pass the microphone back to our beloved leader here. Say what I mean.